Good evening, friends. On behalf of Vidarbha Industrial Association, I welcome you to this penultimate session of the Knowledge Quest. And today we are going to have a presentation of 8 selected projects of the Knowledge Quest, I would say. This was quite a meaningful exercise for the ecosystem, and our founder, father, Mr. Harigovind Bajaj Babuji is around here. Last time when he had come to VI, he was pained that there is no industrialization in this region. And for last year, we have taken that as a mental, and we are trying to inculcate some industrialization around this region, and this is one of the activities around that thought. I will request our President sir to give a floral welcome to Babuji. Amuk.
अरे आप दर्शन करते हैं महीनों बाद होते हैं.
I think he deserves applause because his energy at this age coming to VI actually for a cause is something that is infectious. And I assure Babuji that we'll try to, your words last time is still haunting me, that you said that entrepreneurship is lacking in this region. We'll try to do everything possible to change that perception of yours also and a lot of people around this ecosystem. I also request sir to give a floral welcome to Shashikant Chaudhary. He doesn't require introduction, but I can tell you he is the ex-MD of Global Logic, and he is the biggest angel in Nagpur. He started Nagpur MD. The another jurist is Mr. Sanjay Raghav. He runs Rand Chemical and RAS Industries Private Limited. His company started 20 years and it's an export-oriented unit. And I know it's a very old chemical unit here, and it's one of wonderful enterprises we have in this region. The third panelist is Mr. Karan Magaria. He is BTech from the United and MBA from Nursing University.
actually.
We have a minute language today. I request our Vice President, teacher to please hear his remarks.
Respected Babuji, Sri Hargovinji Bajaj, the founder of PI, President Sri Atulji Pandey, our jury today, Sri Shashikant Chaudhary, Mr. Sanjay Rakha, Mr. Karan Bagaria, Suhasji, Faiz from P. Manifold, few mentors, those are sitting here, and my dear young friends. The Industry Institute Interaction Forum, of which I am also the chairman, so we always wanted, whenever we used to call the students for interviews, we used to find that it's so difficult, to really, and we used to think whether the students from college are being applied or not, and that is how we have started interacting with most of the colleges in the region, and we have floated this knowledge quest. And we were very happy to receive so many entries, 110 entries and 51 presentations, and now we have selected 8 of what we are going to make the final presentation. And I'm sure, with the kind of, as promised, they have also given you the mentor into respective, and you must have gone, and I'm sure you must have found that it's very useful to be in touch with people from industry and with experience. So I'm sure we have already seen your presentation earlier. Now we'll also be seeing the presentation after the mentors' support, and that is how the juries today will be going to decide that. About the juries, I think we have the youngest person here at the age of 90, respected Babuji, to whom I specially request to be here.
Not jury.
For me always, Babuji. The man who has founded 52 years back this organization has grown, and the new symbol that you see, we floated a contest that time. I mean, it's not long back, but he was the man who was being rewarded for selecting this logo for VIA. So he's all that enthusiastic man. In 1969 he formed this industry, was pioneer. The world recognized his factory, I know, and still continuing with a lot of enthusiasm in life. About Mr. Shashikant Chaudhary, the angel investor, everybody knows him. In fact, you people must be knowing more than I know him. He is a man who will definitely be helpful to you and wherever you need funding. That's basic. And all the basics of entrepreneurship. He is the man from whom you can really learn. Next is Mr. Sanjay Rakha, who is a very, very successful entrepreneur, having units at 3-4 locations. And he is somebody who can be really of great help. And the last but not the least, this time we got hold of Mr. Karan Bagaria, the youngest and the man who has really taken his industries from, to a great height. So all these juries will be there to look into your presentation. And with that, my dear friends, I really welcome all of you and look forward to a great presentation from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our President, P. Pandey to give his thoughts on.
Respected Babuji, honorable members of the jury, mentors of the competing 8 teams in the final, and my colleagues in VIA. Welcome to all of you for this finale, for this final presentation of your value-added exercise to this forum. All our good wishes to all of you, not only for the contest today, but for success in life, because having participated in this contest, you have proven that you are not bookworm, you are not confining yourself to only the bookish knowledge within the 4 walls of a classroom. You are conscious about the importance of adding knowledge by coming out, interacting with the business world, trying to know more about the economic activities, particularly in the region in which you are there right now. You may be belonging to some other region, you have come here for studies here, but you have shown interest also in knowing this region. Our compliments also to the mentors of respective teams who have also shown interest, and in the whole process, I'm sure it turns out to be a very win-win kind of a situation wherein the student teams, the mentors themselves, from the colleges, I'm saying, get benefited. But more importantly, we have roped in 8 mentors from respective domains in the practical world for you who are directly, indirectly associated with Vidarbha Industry Association for long. And you've had the privilege of interacting with them very intensely. I'm sure, like I was interacting with Mr. Lade and Dr. Tiwari and those who have been mentoring, that they were available all throughout, although again the time available was just 3 to 4 days for their mentoring and helping you to improve your presentation. But I think whatever best possible from their side was made available to you, and the final results, of course, will be there for everybody to see in the next few minutes. Without taking much time, because we have been a little late, once again, all the good wishes to our young friends here sitting in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I hand it over to Faiz-ji, who is the brain behind all this event, to further proceed.
Thank you, Swaji. Respected everyone here. Okay, there is a car, Ritz 1225. There is some problem downstairs. Somebody's car is blocked. So if somebody here is having this car, kindly contact Amod. Wait, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry. I'll be very brief. We are here because we are, we heard about the evaluations, the presentations, and everything. The single difference between the last time we all met, if you remember, all the students I'm talking to, if you remember, was that last time we had the quantity in this room, and this time we only have quality in this room, right? And so I congratulate you all to have passed through those evaluation processes, to be here today with us and be presenting towards this esteemed jury. Please be very succinct in your presentation. You will be given 10 minutes to make your presentation, and the jury will be given 5 minutes to have a Q&A. So please answer questions to the point and be very specific. There will be a timekeeper here who will point out, give you an alarm at 8 minutes to your presentation, and then finally at 10 minutes. So be very focused on making the presentation and the use of your time to focus on the right points and impress on the jury with the work that you have put in for the last 2 weeks, at least 2-3 weeks. Okay. I think with that, I'll request back to Swaji. Okay, so we'll start with the presentations. I request the jury to take their places. So we'll be having 8 presentations today. Every team gets 15 minutes, 10 minutes for presenting, 5 minutes for Q&A. As we finish, the first team Q&A starts and finishes. Your team should be here. Are all your presentations loaded here? You have it on your USB stick? They have been copied. So Amog is here. Be ready with your presentation so that we don't lose time. After all the presentations end, we'll have a 10-minute, 15-minute break where the juries will do the final summary of the results. And in that break you will have, somebody addressing you here as well. So we'll start with the first, presentation, which is the team concept. Is it?
Good evening, respected dignitaries, honorable judges, respected mentors, and my fellow participants. We are Team Concept. I am Shubhajit Roy, she is Swati Jindal, and Yetro Sonagra. We come from IIM Nagpur. The topic that we have chosen for our study is skill gaps and development, with specific reference to Vidarbha region. I will go through the scope. We had analyzed the skill gap between the forecasted demand and supply of human resources in Vidarbha region. We speculated some reasons and found out the major reason behind this mismatch or the gap was lack of soft skills. We analyzed soft skills with its two aspects. First, being an enabler to other industries, and then a self-employment industry. We have also presented with the trends and career aspects of soft skills as enabler to other industries, and some recommendations and the positive changes soft skills brings to our society.
Rich in forest and wildlife reserves, abundant in natural resources, the power supply house of Maharashtra, and centrally located, all ideal factors for the growth of a region. But is Vidarbha making use of this rich resource base? Is it growing the way it should have, given all the strategic advantages it has? The total workable population across the region of Vidarbha is nearly 1.34 crores, of which 96 lakhs is the working population. That is nearly 72% of the workable population is actually working. 38 lakhs is not working. We need to find the reason behind this gap. Analyzing the demand and supply of human resources in Vidarbha, the demand of skillful resources in upcoming years is nearly 7.15 lakhs across Vidarbha. Categorizing this demand into minimal skilled, semi-skilled, and skilled labor, and analyzing it across the 11 districts of Vidarbha, we find that there is a surplus of semi and minimal skilled labor, while there is a lack of skilled labor. Further, seeing where this demand comes from in terms of various sectors, that is service sector, manufacturing, and agriculture sector, we find that 46.4% of the demand is from the service sector. There are many engineering colleges, ITIs around, still the skill gap is more than 30%. This brings out the point that only technical skills are not enough to make people employable. Soft skills are crucial to meet this skill gap. And so, in our study, we are focusing on soft skills in service industry as a means to bridge the skill gap and lead to the development of others. Soft skills is a combination of emotional intelligence, communication skills, self-management skills, leadership skills, and interpersonal skills. There are two key aspects of soft skills. That is, one, as the enabler for other industries, and secondly, in it itself can open avenues for employment. So let us now analyze these two aspects in detail.
If we do the SWOT analysis for soft skills, first, as an enabler to other industries, we need to go deep that what are the things, what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats for Vidar across other industries too. Vidar enjoys a very high literacy rate, nearly around 83.58%, which is more than the state literacy rate. Swati has told the vocable population is nearly 1.34 crores, which is a big strength. The location advantage brings with connectivity all across by roads, railways, makes Vidar the favorite place for all the industrial guys. If we come to weaknesses, abundance of labor is not what industrialists look for, but they look for skilled labor. The shortage is there. We hear about this thing a lot. What the industry wants, but what the institute gives, they do not match. There's a big mismatch there. The mindset of people here is slightly less entrepreneurial, and they do lack a bit of motivation in how to work around in corporate sector. However, we don't stop here. There are immense number of opportunities too. There are many engineering and polytechnic institutes which develops the biggest workforce across the nation. There are many service sector industries and MNCs like Infosys, TCS coming in with us who will require employees equipped with both technical and soft skills. But still, we can't foresee the threats. The skilled workforce, they tend to go outside Vidar due to lack of opportunities. They go generally to Western Maharashtra and other places in the nation. There's a bit of complaint from industry guys that their employees lack professionalism and they're unwilling to work in blue-collar sectors. The other problem that we studied is lack of adequate social and educational infrastructure in this region. Now we come to SWOT analysis for soft skills as an industry. The biggest trend that this industry has is being very low on capital investment. It doesn't require major investments as such, like the power industry or any other heavy metal industries. And the risk involved is minimum. The weaknesses is only specific to here because people are not exposed to this sort of industries. They're not exposed to soft skills much. However, when they're equipped with soft skills, they might think that they will get immediate outcome, which is a bit difficult. The outcome will definitely be there, but it will be slow. And the other weakness that we found out was that this industry behaves in pockets and is slightly fragmented. However, this industry has huge opportunities. The demand in service sector is nearly 46.40% itself in without sector, which makes it a big powerhouse and great demanding thing for soft skills. Entrepreneurs have a large avenue to invest here. For our LR survey, we found out that local people now want to get equipped with communication skills, leadership skills. So the perception is changing, and when they acquire these skills, it opens multiple career opportunities to them. However, some threats do pose. They are attractive industrial policies in neighboring states, and the last one being the most important, they need to come out of their shell, their own traditional thinking process, so that they can adapt to new changes and new skills.
When we look at the soft skill as an enabler to other industries like banking, finance and insurance sector, healthcare services, organized retail and tourism and hospitality industries, we see such a picture that huge industrial requirement of the employees are there, but the main thing that they lack is the soft skill and the communication power that their industrialists are looking into these candidates. Healthcare services has grown a lot into the technical advancement and medical expertise of the people, but they also lack soft skill and the communication power, how to communicate with the patients and other stakeholders. When we look at the organized retail, that itself has transformed, but and DMart and Reliance are coming into the region, but they also require people who are basically fulfilling the demand of basic soft skills. When we look at the tourism and hospitality industry, great amount of flora and fauna and some other also resources like tourism sites, they also provide great source of revenue to the Vidarbha, but they also require soft skill and business etiquette, how to communicate with the customers. When we look at the Ola and Uber set to foot into the Vidarbha, they also need such a drivers that they can communicate properly with the customers. IT enabling services, these are the industries that we are already seeing. As IT Park has already been established, Exelon, Persistent companies are already into the Vidarbha, but Infosys, the TCS are.
Do you want to quickly run through?
Yeah.
Just do it in 1 minute.
Okay. Such companies are about to come. They also require soft skills, transportation, logistics. Nagpur being as a hub of the centrally located and hub, can be a hub of logistics. So it also requires some employees that are pro and good into the communication power. Major career prospects into the soft skill industry can be soft skill trainer into the particular organization, independent personality development, trainer for teacher in educational institute and the teachers in educational institute. Recommendation: capitalizing on the strengths and opportunities and reducing the weaknesses of the stress. Programs to raise the awareness about the importance of soft skills. Institutions should also have particular support from the industry to bridge this gap. Industrial exposure for the teachers, because they will be in the particular contact with the candidates. Reducing the weakness of the threats. Favorable industry policies needs to be consistent and should be faith developing into the industrialists so that they can come and invest into the Vidarbha. Education infrastructure and other social infrastructure are required so that migration can be stopped from here to the other regions. Some positive changes.
Apart from all the industrial growth, there are many positive changes that soft skills education will bring about. Students will be better equipped for the industry, and thus their career prospects will be better. Better employees will also attract more and better industries, which would also lead to increase in income levels of Vidarbha. Soft skills also impart the confidence and motivational level required for people to be encouraged to get into entrepreneurial ventures and run them well. And more than anything else, interpersonal skills bring about confidence and make people better human beings, thus driving them towards a better societal lifestyle and culture. Thank you.
Limit the Q&A to 3 minutes unless there is a pertinent question.
Okay, so in terms of the data which you have shown in terms of the people who are coming out of these colleges, your data is more focused towards engineering and management. Whereas you are talking about the employment opportunity in the tourist, logistics, blue collar, or like, the taxi services now. Even in terms of the numbers which are coming